Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Sam Talks Books, and welcome if you're new. So today I thought I would try a chapter author edition. I love watching these videos and I've seen so many people do them. They either read a bunch of chapters of first books and then they read the one that caught their attention the most, rank them, or they rate them, that sort of thing. I thought I would do author edition, specifically Paige Toon. I have a bunch of Paige Toon books here. She's actually the author I own the most books for, and I've not read any of these. I own one other book, but I've read that one, so I'm not going to include it. But I thought I'd do author edition for Paige Toon and read each of the chapters and then rank them in order of which one I felt like grabbed my attention the most. So we're going to just start off with the first one that's on top of this pile, which is the one we fell in love with, and I'll read what it's about. So we've got Phoebe is caught between a rock and a hard place. Settle down and get married, or return to the French Alps to pursue her passion. Eliza is in love with someone who is no longer hers. In fact, he probably never was, and her dream of becoming a successful musician seems to be vanishing before her eyes. Rose is out of a job and out of a boyfriend. To make matters worse, she's been forced to move back in with her mother. But these very different girls have one thing in common: Angus, the one they fell in love with. So I'm going to read the first chapter of this one, and let me see how many pages this is. Okay, so there's a prologue that's only 4 pages. So I'm going to read that, and then there's like another little bit here. I'm going to read that and then I'll be back. So I've read the first chapter of this one, and we're in the point of view of the character Angus, who all of the triplet sisters are in love with, and he's having this they're at this bar, I think, or a party, I'm not too sure, and they're kind of like having this moment. He's with this girl and they go back to kiss, and they're kind of like start kissing, and the girl's like, what are you doing? And then he kind of realises that she's got the same eyes, the same hair, except she's not the same girl. So I think she's one of her triplets. That one actually did catch my attention, and I think after the rest of this book we followed the other 3 sisters. That one is on top right now, so that's the only one I've read, but we're going to go on to the next one. I'm also going to apologise if you can hear like a bunch of noise outside. My neighbour, and she doesn't know how to speak like in a normal tone. She shouts. I'm sorry if you have to hear that. And I'm covered in cat hair, so I'm sorry about that. My cat decided to give me love before I filmed this video. But anyway, next one is The Last Piece of My Heart. When life feels like a puzzle, sometimes it's the smallest pieces that make up the bigger picture. A successful travel journalist, Bridget, has ambitions to turn her quirky relationship blog into a book. But then a different proposition catches her eye. Nicole died, leaving behind a best-selling novel and an incomplete sequel. Tasked with finishing the book, Bridget is thankful to have her chance to show what she can do, even if it means relocating to Cornwall and answering to Nicole's grieving husband, Charlie. But as she gets to know the family Nicole left behind and the woman behind the words, Bridget's priorities begin to change. That's pretty decent. See how many how many pages? So it's 5 pages. It's not really reading the okay, I might end up having to read a bit more if I don't feel like it's given enough for me to rank it. But we're gonna just go and read the prologue and see what I think. Prologue, I think we kind of got a bit back with the story, so I didn't go and read a chapter as well, just because technically prologue is kind of a chapter. So our main character Bridget has been in love with this guy, and she feels like he's always had a piece of her heart and she's never been able to really move on from him, and she's like, if I ever see him again, I'm going to tell him that he has to give me that piece of heart back. So he moved to Australia at 16. I can't remember what age now. She's constantly thought about him. So she's actually moved to Sydney herself for a year for, I think, her job, and she's just so happened to bump into him. They have drinks together and he's asked to go for dinner, and she's like, if he tried to take another piece of my heart, I don't think I'd stop him. Actually kind of a good first bit to the book. I kind of want to continue reading it. So out of these two, with this one, it's kind of like I'm going to put this one first just because the whole triplet thing and the wrong sister kissing kind of got my attention more, and then this one. So far, I'm going to put up here as well, the ranking, so you guys can see, but so far it's The One We Found in Love With and then The Last Piece of My Heart. Moving on to the next one, One Perfect Summer. This one looks way chunkier than those. Let's read this one. I literally couldn't speak then. Alice is 18 and about to start university, while Joe's life is going nowhere. A daughter summer, a chance meeting, and two of them fall into a step as if they have known each other forever. But their idyllic idol? I cannot say that. But their idol is shattered unexpectedly. Alice heads off to Cambridge and slowly picks up the pieces of her broken heart. When she catches the attention of Lucas, gorgeous, gifted, rich boy Lucas, she is carried along by his charm, swept up by his ambition, planned for a future together. Years later, it's just the wrong time. Joe is back, but out of reach in the way that Alice could never have imagined. Life has moved on. The divide between them is now so great. Surely it is far too late to recapture the perfect summer so long ago. So I'm guessing a lot of reading is going to be prologues about. Let's have fun. 7 pages. Okay, well I'm gonna read this one and I'll be back again. Is going back to when she's 18, where she first met the guy Joe, that she's on holiday with her mum, they've just arrived and they're looking for like a place to eat, and then the mum decides to be basically just embarrass her, and she's just met that Joe guy. I didn't get much from it, however it was fun, it did make me laugh. But as for the rankings, I think it's going to be in 3rd place, just because I still feel like I'm more interested in these two than that one. Next one, The Longest Holiday. Laura has been married to the man of her dreams for 7 months, but now she discovers a terrible secret a week before the wedding. Matthew made a life-changing mistake. Escaping the heartache and humiliation, Laura is whisked off to Florida's Key West by her friends Mary and Bridget. A carefree holiday full of cocktails and fun, surrounded by gorgeous tan men, is exactly what the doctor ordered. And suddenly, distraction arrives in the form of sexy Cuban scuba diver, not driver, Leo. At the end of the holiday, oh my gosh, this girl cannot speak. As the end of the holiday approaches, Laura doesn't want to go home. Is it time to face reality, or is there more to Key West than a holiday romance? This sounds so good. If I could actually speak, that'd be great. There is 8 pages, and I'm going to go see what this one will be on. First chapter, we follow Laura and her 2 friends, and they are on this holiday. Laura is dealing with heartbreak because her husband cheated literally weeks before their wedding. There's a specific reason to why Laura can't forgive, because there's going to be a constant reminder. And yeah, so far I'm not getting like a lot, but like you're getting the basic gist of what's going on, like why she's gone on this holiday with her friends. They're trying to make her happy, trying to help her overcome this heartbreak. She's still really struggling with the fact that, you know, her husband did this and never even told her. She had to find out herself. So it's actually a good first chapter. As for the rankings, I think I'm going to put this one in 3rd place. That shifts the perfect summer down, and we're going to move straight on to the next one. Next one is The Minute I Saw You. I'm going to read the back again. When Hannah meets Sonny, she's irresistibly drawn to him. He's sexy and confident, but only in town on holiday. That's fine with Hannah. She doesn't do long-term relationships, and lucky for her, neither does Sonny. But before they can, I'm really sorry by the way, if you can hear that noise, I think they're doing building work. It just so happens to be on the day that I needed to film. So I am really sorry if you can hear that. Anyway, unlucky for her, neither does Sonny. But before they can even so much as kiss, Sonny receives some shocking news and commits to making serious life changes, ones that can't and won't involve romance. With even a short fling now off the cards, Hannah and Sonny settle for being friends. But as summer hots up and their chemistry shows no signs of cooling, they start to question their reasons for shutting each other out. Are they both too broken to find love? And if they tear down the walls between them, will they still like what's on the other side? You know, again, another book that sounds really good. Paige Toon books are always good. So it's 9.5 pages, and I'm gonna go and read this one. okay first chapter. Like there's nothing wrong with it. We've met the two main characters. So our main character, God, I forgot her name already. Hannah works in an optician's and Sunny is a client coming in to get his new glasses. So they're getting very up close and personal. She's feeling a bit hot and flushed, and yeah, they've definitely got like this little chemistry here. Sunny is only in England for another 2 weeks because he goes back to Amsterdam. I'm actually interested to see what will happen with this one because I actually kind of like the characters and their personalities. Like it's a lot of fun. However, where I'm going to rank it in the littles, oh, I'm really confused. One sec, because I'm going to forget. Okay. So I'm going to put it there. Yeah. So I've put it before The Longest Holiday and after The Last Piece of My Heart, and we are going on to the last one now, and that is 13 Weddings. Oh my God, it's like little confetti. I don't know if you can see it. It's little confetti hearts. So cute. So I'll tell you guys what this one's about. Bronte never expected to see Alex after one night together, but she never stopped thinking of him. So when she arrives at work one day to find that Alex is a new colleague, she's secretly thrilled. The only problem is that Alex is now engaged to the girl he was on a break from the night they met. Determined to move on, Bronte becomes a part-time wedding photographer alongside her day job, surrounded by loving couples, tearful bridesmaids, mischief page boys, and interfering mother-in-laws. She struggles through wedding after weddings while her heart is slowly torn apart. As Alex's own wedding day draws even nearer, their chemistry becomes harder to ignore. Bronte must decide whether to fight for the man she loves or to just let him go forever. That sounds so good. And also I like that she's a wedding photographer. My partner does photography. I love reading about characters that do photography. It's always so much fun. I'll actually link his photography Instagram page and Facebook page below in case you guys want to check that out. So we got a prologue. Jesus. Okay, is it really that long? Am I missing this? Come on. Oh, that's way too long. What the hell? I don't know if I just... Okay, that's like 30 pages. I think I'm just going to read 10 pages as a prologue because otherwise I'm going to be here all day. That's a lot. Like, that's 30 pages. So I'm going to read as much as I can, probably 10 pages. And then I'll get back to you guys before I think. Really enjoyed this one, and I'm going to put this one in first place just because I actually kind of wanted to continue reading this one to find out what's going to happen. Our main character is at a hen do of her best friend Polly, who she's not really seen in 2 years because our main character lives in Australia, but she's flown out for the wedding. Her best friend kind of gets quite aggressive when she's drunk, so she doesn't really like her drunk. Like she kind of just, yeah, she gets aggressive. So our main character's just met a guy at the bar, which is our other main character, Alex, who's also on a stag do because his mate, I think the groom is marrying his little sister, and our two main characters get sitting there and talking. There's actually some funny stuff that's already happened involving like some guys dressed in costume, and already I like Alex's character just because he steps up when there's a situation with this guy who's really drunk. I just like the whole chemistry that our two main characters already seem to have, and I really want to see what's going to happen. I actually think I'm going to have to try and read this one soon. The ranking order that I'm putting these books in is 13 Weddings in first place, The One We Fell in Love With in second place, The Last Piece of My Heart in third, in fourth place is The Minute I Saw You, in fifth place is Longest Holiday, and in sixth place is The One Perfect Summer. I think that it's always difficult to rate romance books based on the first chapter, just because you've got to get into the story. So I think they're like the hardest books to rate. But I really wanted to do this Paige Toon edition. I've read 2 Paige Toon books before, which is Pictures of Lily, which I'll put here, and The Sun in Her Eyes, which is also here. But I read those like years ago, and I would love to reread them. So I actually really enjoyed doing this first chapter. Now I kind of want to continue reading this one. So I'm actually planning to do a try chapter again. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like thriller edition, fantasy edition, or another author edition. I think I'm going to wait to do an author edition until I've got a few more books by like one author in particular, like I said, Paige Toon, I just have quite a few books by her. But if you did like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, it would mean the world to me, and turn on the notification bell so you get alerted to when I next upload. And until next time, bye!